Recently, I've been going through some motions in my life, and I thought to myself, well, what's a better way to deal with that than to create a cute poster about it? So I drew a little sketch of what I wanted to do and to say, and I wanted to take you on this little journey with me of designing it in Illustrator. So you can either create something similar to me, or you can decide to create your own design and just follow this tutorial for some tips and tricks. Whatever you choose is fine with me. And yeah, let's start. I'm already in Illustrator here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on new file, and that's gonna take us to create a new document window. And I have already a template saved for my preferred poster format, but you can of course create your own. So you're gonna just look at the right side of the pop-up window. You can type in your preset details if you want to save it, or you can just leave it like it is. You can also create a poster that's like A3, and then it's gonna be, you know, a pretty standard size. Or you can also do A4 if you want. It's just gonna be a small page. You can even print out on your own printer if you have one. But yeah, I'm just gonna do a B2 poster, 50 by 70 centimeters, and you can choose your own format, whatever you want. You can also click on, for me it's centimeters, and you can change it to pixel, points, or inches, whatever you prefer to use. I'm using centimeters or millimeters, so that's just easier for me. And you can also set a bleed. So a bleed is just a space outside of your document that some printers require, because sometimes what they do is, in professional print shops, they print out your work on a bigger format and then cut it so you don't have these white edges. But to be honest, you will just have to consult with your printing shop that you will be printing your work at, and ask them if they would like to have some bleed or not, and then you can always edit it in the document after you create it, so you don't have to worry about it right now here. And for the color mode, I'm gonna choose a CMYK color because it's like a standard color mode for printing. And yeah, the rest we can just leave as it is and click create. So now that we're here, maybe first thing that I will do is go to File and Save As, to make sure that we have our work saved and we won't lose any progress in case our computer crashes or anything else happens. So I'm just gonna call it an illustration poster and click Save. Here you don't have to worry about anything, you can just click OK. It doesn't matter that much. And another thing is, I like to use a full tool panel, so you can always switch it in here. You have these 3 dots here, and you can click on it, then click the button, let's say in the top right corner, and you will start with the basic one here, but if you want to see the advanced one as I have in my document, then feel free to use this. And if you ever don't have any windows that I have opened on the right side of the screen, you can always go to Window and search for different things to open. So for example, I really love Properties panel. I use it very, very often. So you can just, where is it? You can just click on it and it's gonna open probably somewhere here, and you can just snap it in place like so, and you can use it. So if you ever see that I have some windows open and you don't, you go to Window and then you search for stuff that I have. Another thing that I want to start with is to bring my sketch into Illustrator, because then it's going to be far easier to work on things that I want to work on. And it's done, and the photo is right here. You can also click embed here. It just makes sure that the photo is a part of your document now, and you won't have to link it. If you move it on your computer, it won't affect if it's visible or not in Illustrator. So it's very important, to be honest, to do this, because then you can just move around or delete your photo from your computer and it's not going to affect your file. So yeah, be sure to do this. And at this point, you can just come in with your own photo. Maybe you made your own sketch of what you'd like to do. And if not, you can just follow what I'm going to do here. Just take a screenshot and make this your sketch. Let's say whatever you prefer to do, feel free to, to do. And yeah, now I'm going to just make it a bit bigger. So that it matches my file size, and I'm gonna go ahead and lock it as well to make sure that it does not move when I do some stuff on it. And from this point, we're really ready to start our drawing and designing. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose the paintbrush tool, and I will just sketch around the contours of my drawing. So it definitely doesn't have to be precise or anything. I wanted it to be fun and illustrative, and we're gonna change it up later on anyway. So you don't have to worry about anything at this stage. Just loosely draw over your contours and everything will be fine. And also one tip, if you want your paintbrush to be a bit smoother, you can double click it and you can change the fidelity. I like to have it in like a middle point here, so it just slightly corrects your lines after they are done, so it just looks smoother. See, like that. But you don't have to do it right now. We can correct it some other way later on. I'm gonna show you. So just wanted to show you this little trick in case you want the lines to be smoother already. And if you do something like me, you have two different strokes that you want to merge together. You can just click and drag to select both of them, and you can do join. So now they are joined together, or you can make it a second time. Yeah, because it joined in this place, which is going to be useful later on too. So you can just check what's up, and now you can select the direct selection tool and just correct the anchor points a little bit so they are not weird. You can also delete some of the anchor points because here we have a bit too many, and yeah, and now it looks pretty nice, let's say. Cool. If you want to keep the curvature of the drawing, but you still want to edit it, what I like to do is just use the curvature tool and then you can just edit your anchor points nicely, and it still keeps all the curvatures you've done. Anyway, we're gonna edit it a bit more later on, I feel like, but just wanted to go in and already start correcting some of the stuff. And what's really nice about this is that you really don't need any fancy tools to do this. I'm just using my mouse to create all these shapes. Of course, you will need a little training to start doing it, but with the smoothing option that I showed you at the beginning, it really doesn't matter if you're not that good at and using your mouse. Illustrator is just gonna correct some of the stuff for you, and you can always come in a bit later and fix it too. So there's really no need to worry that you're not trained enough for this. I think you're gonna do just great. Alright, and now that the flowers are done, I'm just gonna mock up this little text too. It says go for a walk and trust, because what I need to do in my life right now is definitely go on more walks and just trust that everything will be okay. Because it always turns out to be okay, but I somehow can't seem to trust it. Can't seem to chill enough to trust it, but it's fine. We live and we learn. So now I can see that my poster doesn't have the balance that I want, because I also wanted to put a little text at the bottom. I'm gonna put it in now. And I want to have it at the end. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark all of these and make them, squeeze them a little bit, so I can move everything up. Okay, and now that it's kind of ready, I think I'm gonna try to correct all these flowers so they look a little bit better and more polished. So what I have to do is I'm gonna have to join all of these like I showed you before, so that later on I can fill them with color, and it's just gonna make it easier to smooth them. So what you can do is click here on the shaper with the right side of your mouse, and you can choose a smooth tool, and either you can, okay, you need to be sure that you select this, when you choose the smooth tool. And then you can either use this slider to smooth things out, and usually it's enough, or you can also manually smooth only some parts of the circle, whatever you want. I think I'm going to choose the slider just to be sure everything smooths at the same time. And you don't have to worry about these things joining in this weird place. It's going to be hidden behind this circle anyway, so we can just leave it as it is, I think. And at this point, I think we can unlock our image. Or no, at first, we're just gonna color all of these so we can see clearly what we work with. So we can just click on this square here and make it a cute color so you can see clearly what you're working with. And I think I'm gonna delete this, or no, I guess we can leave it. I'm just gonna drag the color from the fill to stroke so I can have them all in the same color. And now I'm gonna go to object, I'm gonna unlock everything, and I'm gonna get rid of this sketch so I can see clearly what is not working and what I want to change in my poster. And I think I'm going to choose all the centers of flowers, and I'm going to change them to another color too, so it will be easier to see. And I'm going to bring them forward too, so they are all nicely visible. And of course, I'm gonna change the stroke to the same color. Starting to look cute, I think, which is always a good sign. And if you want to draw the thing all over again, you can also use the pencil tool, and you can just draw it across the line you want to change, and it doesn't always work, but usually it allows you to change just the edge you want to change, so then it fits better, which is sometimes a really nice option. Alright, I think I'm gonna be coming back to this later on, and probably in the next few days too, because I'm gonna keep noticing things that I will like to change. But for now, I think I'm more or less pretty happy with how it's looking like. But it's definitely time for choosing some fonts. So I'm gonna put a link to a few websites that you can scroll through to look for some cool fonts. You can also, of course, use Adobe fonts, which is probably what I'm gonna start with. And if I don't find anything, then I'm gonna move to some other websites. So yeah, this of course is gonna take some time, because I know what I want to go for when it comes to choosing the font, but finding it is gonna take some time. So yeah, feel free to use something different, whatever you like, whatever you feel like, then go for it. I'm just gonna add a little background to see what I'm working with. And yeah, I'm gonna explore different color variations later on, but for now I just want to check how the poster is looking and if it would work with this font or not. Yeah, and if you want your text to be in the perfect center, what I like to do is align within the paragraph option. So you make sure that everything you write here is going to be center aligned, but it's not going to ensure that it's going to be aligned perfectly to the artboard. So if you want to do this, then you need to choose align and this horizontal line here, and then it's going to make sure that it aligns perfectly to the artboard. And you need to choose this option here too, align to artboard. So yep, and here I'm gonna align it too, I think, just to be sure everything is good. I kind of like it, but I think the balance is off a bit with the text. Maybe I can do it a bit differently. Maybe this is more the vibe. I'm not sure. Yeah, because here, if I put the text just here at the end, then it looks like it's sinking. Like the balance is off, definitely. Meanwhile, with this one, looks a little bit better in a way. Yeah, maybe this is the way to go. Oh, and also sometimes most of the time, not for all the fonts, I think, but most of the time it's nice to put the kerning to optical, so the text just looks a bit better. And for bigger chunks, for bigger titles like this, it's better to adjust it yourself, so you can go in between letters and just kind of see optically where the spacing looks a bit off, and you can hold Alt and then click on left or right arrow and just adjust what needs to be adjusted. I think it looks cute now. It's okay. And with a text like this, you don't want to be aligning perfectly to where Illustrator tells you that the text ends. Then it looks a bit off. So what I like to do is to just adjust it optically a bit. So yeah, so it's not exactly on the same line, but it looks like it is. So when you have circle shapes like this, they should go a bit out of your straight text. So with like G's and O's, it should go a little bit more out. And then it looks aligned. I kind of like how it's looking, to be honest. I'm not sure about this. I was thinking maybe I could switch it, see how it's gonna look if it's this way. I think I'm gonna work on this probably off the camera a little bit more too, because all this tweaking is gonna take a lot of time, or maybe not a lot of time, but I'm gonna do it over the course of the next few days. But of course, I'm gonna show you the final result. But for now, let's say that all of this is done. Let's say this is how I want the poster to look like, and I want to prepare it for print. So before I start exporting, I need to make sure that the text is changed into outlines, because sometimes it can, if it's not, sometimes it can create some problems with printing, and it can print differently, like with a different font than you wanted to choose for your project, or at least that's what I've been told. It hasn't happened to me personally, fortunately, but yeah, you just have to make sure that you create outlines just in case. So you can go to your properties panel, and in quick actions you're gonna have create outlines when you select your text, or you can also, I think, do it while right clicking. So yeah, you can right click and choose create outlines right here, so whatever you prefer. And now that this is done, I like to copy the artboard, so I still have one artboard where the text is editable and one where I change the text to outlines. So I can always come back and change some things if I want to. But yeah, with this version on artboard 4, we have, let's say, a poster ready for print. So we can go to File, Export, Export As, and it's the best to export the files in PDF, just because the printing places usually prefer to receive the files in PDF. And for the range, we're gonna choose our 4th artboard, because it's the last one we created with the outlines and everything. And then we click on Export. And I already have some presets for printing, but you can just choose high quality print and it should be okay. You can unclick all of these options. They are not necessary for you. For the compression, I think it can just stay like this. And yeah, when it comes to marks and bleeds, that is something that every printing place decides for themselves, kinda. So you would have to just ask the people who work there how they would like to receive your file. So what they sometimes ask me is for a 3mm bleed. That's kind of a standard bleed in metric system, but you will just have to ask your printing place. Sometimes they don't require a bleed at all. It also depends on the format you choose for your poster, so then that's something you have to ask about. And they can also ask you for trim marks. If you have a bleed, trim marks are gonna show you where to cut the excess paper. So these are the two things you need to ask at a printing place, and they're gonna tell you what they prefer. And you don't have to worry about all the other options. They're not necessary, so yeah, you can just unclick all the options here. And for marks and bleeds, you need to ask what the printing place prefers, if they want trim marks, if they want bleed or not, and then you can just export PDF and it's all ready to go. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you learned something, or you just had fun being creative. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.